What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So today we're going to do a stimulus check update, and I have some good news and I have some bad news. So we're going to have to, you guys are going to have to buckle in because I'm going to go on a rant at the end here. I already know it just because I'm a little upset when it comes down to this whole situation. So I'll let you guys know about that. But first off, please hit the thumbs up. Please like the video. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the good news. We'll do the good news first. So the people who are waiting for their dependent pay, I've received information from a few different people that'll let me know that they're starting to receive their $500 dependent pay from the CARES Act. So if you remember, there were some people who were non-filers. They went to the IRS portal. They put in their information showing that they have dependents, and they still didn't receive that extra $500 per dependent. Well, the IRS commissioner last month indicated that they would be sending those out, and they have started sending them out. So check your direct deposit. You might be receiving that $500 per dependent pay. So that's really good news. At least they're following through with that. You don't have to wait until next year in order to file your 2020 taxes in order to get the dependent pay. They're starting to send those out now. So that's good. All right. So now let's talk about the bad news. So we saw yesterday that basically they're still at a stalemate. So you still have major parts of the stimulus package they have not agreed upon. And that's both sides. So you have the Democrats and the Republicans. They're both kind of going back and forth, and they can't come to an agreement. Now, that's where we are right now. So later on today, we'll have to see what happens. Now, as far as the recess, they will be going on a recess, but they'll be on call. So not all the politicians will be going on recess, but they have been given information that they can go back home if they want to. They'll be on call. So if something goes down, they're going to have to come back so they can vote. So that's pretty much where we are when it comes to that. Now, I need to talk about something because this is really upsetting to me when it comes down to the whole political process, right? And you guys know I'm about the political process. I want things to work the way they should work. I mean, we have a constitution for a reason. Things should be working a certain way. And in this situation, and we're looking at this bill that we're trying to get through the Senate. And I've already mentioned this a week and a half ago. I brought it out on my video, just talking about Mitch McConnell's not even in the room during these negotiations. And he is the majority leader of the Senate. And this is something that's in the Senate, which means that the majority leader should be taking part in the negotiating. He's not doing that. So right now, who's in the room for the negotiations? We have Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House. We have the minority leader, Chuck Schumer, the minority leader of the Senate. We have Steven Mnuchin, and we have Mark Meadows. Steven Mnuchin is the Treasury Secretary. Mark Meadows is the Chief of Staff. Those are the people in the room doing the negotiating. Now, I have a huge problem with that. And I've had a problem with it for a while, but I thought that, you know what, maybe we're going to see some of these other players, key players, not people that are on the sidelines, but key players, step in and at least have a face-to-face with the other side. But it looks like that's not going to happen. I mean, we already have President Trump saying that if they can't come to a resolution later today, that he's going to start looking into the executive orders. And so that's crazy to me because you don't even have key players coming in. If you look at it, let's look at the situation here. And this is why this is really, really important. You have Nancy Pelosi. She was elected by the people. You have Chuck Schumer. He was elected by the people. And not only were they elected by the people, but they are elected to be leaders in both the House and the Senate. And they're in the room. They're negotiating right now. And then you have Steven Mnuchin and Mark Meadows. The problem with Steven Mnuchin and Mark Meadows, they weren't elected by the people. The people cannot hold them accountable. They were appointed by the president. And so on one side, you have people who were elected by the people. And then on the other side, you have people who were not elected by the people and have no accountability to the people and don't represent the people. They represent the White House. They represent the president. And so that's a huge problem because they're doing the negotiating for the people but they don't represent the people. So what does all this mean? Okay, so we know Mitch McConnell, he hasn't been in the room. He's probably not going to be in the room. We know that President Trump is talking about doing executive orders. But what gets me is he hasn't even mentioned sitting down with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and negotiating. This is the man that when he ran for office, and I don't care if you voted for him or you didn't vote for him, we all heard what he was saying. What was he saying when he ran for office? I'm a deal maker. I'm a businessman. The art of the deal. You remember my book? That's what he talked about.
If Senator Cruz is known for opposing deals, you literally wrote the book on making them. Senator Cruz has mentioned that on the trail. What would you say to those conservatives who are concerned that a deal maker will just perpetuate the same deals in Washington and the way that things run now? How do you disturb
No,
status quo?
a good deal maker will make great deals, but will do it the way our founders thought it should be done. People get together, they make deals. Ronald Reagan did it with Tip O'Neill very successfully. You didn't hear so much about executive orders, if you heard about it at all. You have to be able to get a consensus. Now, the real person, like it was mentioned about the deal with Iran, how bad a deal is that? It doesn't get any more amateurish than that. A good deal maker would never make a deal like that. With Congress, you have to get everybody in a room and you have to get them to agree. But you have to get them to agree what you want. And that's part of being a deal maker. You can't leave the White House, go to Hawaii and play golf for 3 weeks and be a real deal maker. It doesn't work that way. You have to get people in, grab them, hug them, kiss them, and get the deal done. But it's got to be the deal that you want.
He talked about that a lot, probably more than anything else, even more than building a wall. He talked about how he can get deals done. That's what he prides himself on, being able to get the deal. So how are you going to tell me that someone that talks like that, the master negotiator, is not going to be in the room in a situation like this? This is the biggest deal he'll ever do. We're talking trillions of dollars. And he's not going to at least sit down and have a face-to-face at least once before he goes to executive order? Because understand this, an executive order, that's surrendering. An executive order is surrendering. That's just saying, you know what, we couldn't get things negotiated. Well, he can't say he couldn't get things negotiated because he hasn't tried. But they couldn't get things negotiated, so I'm just going to step in and do an executive order. That's waving the white flag. That's saying we couldn't do it the right way, so now we're just going to try to do it this way. And understand that if he does an executive order, there are a lot of things that he's not going to be able to do. He's not going to be able to do stimulus checks, because he needs $300 billion in order to do stimulus check. So that means he's going to either have to pull that from somewhere else, which I'm sure people will have a problem with if he's pulling it. It's $300 billion is a lot of money. If he pulled that from the military, I'm sure people would have a problem with that. If he pulled it from some other places, I'm sure people would have a problem with that. It's a lot of money. Let alone the Supreme Court is going to get involved, because now you're talking about a president having too much power where they can just start pulling billions of dollars from different places. And so this is one of those things where Trump has put himself in a position where he is the master negotiator. If he doesn't sit down on a face-to-face with the other side and try to negotiate before doing an executive order, he's going to lose all credibility when it comes down to it, because a lot of people voted for him for that reason. And I heard it. They were telling me he's a businessman. He can get things done. And here's his opportunity. Here's the big stage where he can step in and say, yes, I was able to negotiate this. Buy my book. Right? But it looks like he's choosing not to do that. And so when you look at the who's at the table right now when it comes to negotiating, you have one side, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, elected by the people. The other side, the Republican side, no one's elected by the people. You don't have anyone who's been elected by the people representing the Republican side right now. Just think of that. think of how our government is just, I mean, it's crazy. You elect people and then they appoint people, and those people are the ones that are doing their work. They don't even do their own work. This is one of those things. I'm telling you, I mean, let me know in the comment section how you feel about this, but I think it's crazy. I think it's absolutely crazy. I mean, I was shocked when I heard Mitch McConnell wasn't in the room. And then I was equally shocked when I heard the president saying, yes, if things don't get done today, then we're going to move forward with executive orders without even meeting, without even having a face-to-face with the other side, not even trying to negotiate. So let me know what you guys think down below. We'll see what happens later today, and I'll keep you posted. I'm going to continue to do daily videos, so hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll just have to see where it goes. But just understand, like I said, executive orders, they're limited. There's certain things that he's not going to be able to do when it comes to executive orders. And then you have to understand, too, he's been talking about the payroll tax cut or suspending the payroll tax. That might be fine for people who are working, but people who are not working, it's not going to help them at all. Plus, it's going to be taking money from Social Security, and it's going to be taking money from Medicare. So you have to think along those lines as well. And at some point, that money is going to need to be put back into Social Security or put back into the government in some way. So Congress still needs to get involved when it comes down to it. So it's only a temporary fix. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll talk to you guys later.